voice of Putnam County business. And right here in Putnam County, the leaves are starting to change a little bit. But you know what is not changing is my counterpart over here, Nat Prentice, and his long list of great guests that we have for the voice.
Well, I won't disappoint you this afternoon, Nick, because we are going to learn a lot about how Putnam County came to have a history of itself. Because our guest today, we are fortunate to have Jennifer Cassidy, who is the Putnam County historian. And we also are going to have with us Sally Cypher, who is the deputy historian. And Sally has quite a history of her own involvement in the county. And Jennifer is the current historian. So aren't we lucky?
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, it's a great topic to talk about today. And why don't you both just kind of enlighten us about what the Putnam County historian does and what we can expect to hear from you?
Well, I'm Jen Cassidy, and I was appointed back in the last administration under Mary Ellen Odell. And I had the privilege of being reappointed by the current county executive, Kevin. And our office is located in Brewster, New York. We're in the village right below the train station on Marvin Avenue. And we're located in a building that we share with the Putnam County Records Department. It's the old Nice Egg building for those who are familiar with the village of Brewster. We live in a lovely warehouse. And we have office space there. We also have a temperature and humidity controlled archives. And that room is where we keep all the cool old stuff. That's where ephemera goes. So think anything that's paper, think photographs, documents, books that come down from the county clerk's office. It's all government records. And we also have our own kind of not private collection, but a separate collection called the Historians Collection, which came about as families' scrapbooks, photo albums, things like that, cultural items of organizations that may no longer exist. Think of old fraternal organizations like the Foresters or what's the singing group of the ladies?
Oh, yes.
The
Brewster group.
Yeah, I can't remember their name right now, but they're in the collections.
Yeah,
they're there and housed there in archival boxes, and we have great staff, part-time staff, and very dedicated volunteers who help process the collection and keep a place for everything and everything in its place.
So what's the mission? Oh, Sally, go ahead. You were going to add something.
I want to mention how difficult it is now that everything is digital if somebody gathers your letters and papers.
Yeah, let's hope.
They stopped when? Last time you wrote a bunch of letters, right? And that was a long time ago.
Yes.
And my letters and papers will stopped when I was in graduate school. I don't write letters anymore. I write emails. What happens to them?
Yeah.
They don't get archived. And when you're dealing with government records, this is very difficult because you are required, as you're required to save paper records forever and ever and ever, you're also required that those digital records are records. So how do you save them? How often do you just delete things from your computer?
Mm-hmm.
How often does government delete things from their computer?
Gosh, help us, because
That's
you just confused me. Because I would have thought that function was associated with the clerk's office, but I would have thought that you had the opportunity to save what you wanted to save, but that you have a mandate to save everything. Tell us what, I mean, is these things just everything that the government, I mean, are you the government's record keeping entity?
You sound a little afraid.
No, I don't have anything to hide, but I wouldn't have thought so. That's a big responsibility.
Yeah. The record management, the officers that fall under the Putnam County Clerk, Michael Bartolotti, and his team, we work in great partnership with them. So as I said, we share the space with them, and they keep all the records stored in the warehouse. And then when things that are required for, forever keeping, then once they get to a certain age, they get turned over to our office.
I see. There it is.
That's when they take their place in the archive.
I see.
It's a very special place.
But some things.
What's up? Oh, sorry.
Some things you have to save forever from the get-go. You don't have to wait for 50 years, say, oh, yeah, that's really important, we'll save it. The state of New York gives you what they call a retention schedule.
Yeah.
Retention schedule says, say, for instance, the minutes of the legislature. From the minute they're created, they're permanent. So you have to be careful with what you're doing, that you don't throw out something that you're going to say forever.
I thought this was all just fun. And lovely bits of history and pictures of old cars. No, there's a real record keeping function.
So all that.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I just didn't know that.
It's fairly recent, you know, up until the 1980s, the state didn't tell you what you had to say, and including local government. We had a supervisor, I remember, Bobby, who in his last 2 weeks in office, his secretary was taking his records to the dump. They weren't his records. Well, they all went to the dump. I don't think he wanted anybody to see.
Yeah. Well, Sally, we better tell our audience that you once had the job as a supervisor of the town of Putnam Valley.
I didn't throw things out.
We have our founding chairwoman, Jennifer Marr, is waving her hand and is going to say what she wants to say.
I just have to take a moment to plug. Mike Barlotti is the best county clerk in the
Agreed 100%.
amazing human being.
Very good.
Love him. He's so good.
And he has a tremendous team
Yes,
supporting
he
him
does.
as well.
Absolutely.
Well, Jen, tell us about the fun part. I mean, that you know, there must be more to it. Of course, there is more to it than that.
It's really, we have a really good time working together and working with our volunteers and staff, because you never know who's going to come through the door or with what in their hands. And, you know, I entertained the interns this past summer, telling them stories about folks who come to our office to research, because we have a public research library in our office, and we're open, as I mentioned before, we're part-time, and we're open Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to the public from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And it's primarily by appointment, but we will be flexible if people can't meet those times. So happy to host, but you know, researchers have come to the door wanting to research UFOs, wanting to discuss their haunted house, you know, and our thing is,
Got to be diplomats.
have to, and we will make room at the table for everybody. Nothing's too far-fetched. I mean, we've had far-fetched, but you know, and there's just very interesting stories to research. And it's I don't think, you know, although Sally has her PhD in history, I don't really think you need such a high degree of education and training to be curious. Right? That's really what makes for great history research. And we have a nice room full of curious folks at the office. So
I'm for one very curious, because I love history, first of all. I'm sure there's plenty of stuff that has happened in Putnam County that I am completely unaware about. So just give me one tidbit. Give me something that you would suspect that I don't know about Putnam County.
stay stumped. What would be a good one?
Well, you want one that we believe, or one that people come in, who come into our office and tell us about how the stone chambers were built by Druids?
Wait, what? Hold on. Okay, let's roll with that one for a second. Then I want something you believe.
Well, we have people who come in who believe that the Druids or the Vikings or almost anybody built the stone chambers. And there are people who come in and sit in front of the stone chambers with video cameras on the winter solstice and freeze, and create videos to show where the sun lands in the back of the stone chamber. Now, that's fine. As long as I don't have to do it.
And then stone chambers, for those who don't know what they are.
Yeah.
We're pretty much, Putnam County has the highest population, right? Or
Highest
census of
incidence of stone chambers.
stone chambers. They're typically stone structures But it's hard to believe that they were built
Yeah.
by men and women, whatever, team of oxen, that, other people would say, oh, it's just really a root cellar to store vegetables, fruits in the off season. So again, we make room at the table for everybody.
Yeah.
You can have your druids or you can have your produce, whatever it may be.
It's the official account,
There is no official.
no official account. They just are. They just exist.
Mhm.
It's so cool. Have you ever seen them?
No. Where would I go to see one?
I will take you on.
You're right. You're going to be on a trip, Nick.
So where would you recommend people to go in public space to see stone chambers?
Go up Barber Street in Putnam Valley,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll pass several, but where you come when there's a fork in the road, there's one almost straight in front.
Really?
And then you have groups like Cornell Cooperative for their master gardeners, and they have hikes that they offer. Sometimes they'll do stone chamber walks. Putnam History Museum,
Yeah, it's done.
west side of the county, will lead some walks through parks and such. So it's really, if you get a chance to sign up for one of those, a guided hike is probably your best experience. May not give you the whole Druid experience, but it's a really good lesson in history.
So, Jen, how long has Putnam County had an historian's office?
Since the 1950s,
1950.
and the first historian was Horace Hillary. There have been town historians before that,
Right.
created by the legislature.
That was after World War One. Right after that war, it became state law that each municipality
Each
had to have,
Town.
each town and village had to have a municipal historian.
Right.
So
Do we have? I guess Town of Phillipstown must have one somewhere.
it's Mark Phillip, and he's
Oh, it marks the years. See, okay.
he's Phillipstown and Cold Spring, and then Nelsonville has their own.
Right.
I think Bauman is his name.
Michael Bauman. Yeah.
And then
Just remember
yeah,
Don McDonald.
Sure.
that's right. He was wonderful. Read some of his papers at our office too.
What about one thing that you do believe that you know for certain is maybe it's a military history or something like that, or that I wouldn't know about in Putnam County?
What do you know the story of Enoch Crosby?
No.
Oh, you believe? You call yourself a Putnam County resident?
That's why I enjoy this podcast.
And Sybil Ludington was real. She was a real person, but we can't document her right.
We got a statue, but we can't.
But
But we don't have a photograph.
Yeah.
don't tell me as a woman and the mother of a daughter
Yes.
that a 16-year-old girl was not capable of doing something extraordinary.
Right.
So her story is legendary, and we embrace it 100%
Would have
in
had.
the story its office.
Of course.
What's her story in a brief, quick
Oh.
synopsis of it?
Nick,
I'm sorry.
there was
Take back.
Paul Revere, and then there was several.
Son in her father's troops. He was colonel of the militia. That the British were burning Danbury,
Wow.
and he had to call the troops out to go over there and help out. And there was nobody to go call the troops out. And Sybil rode at night. So the story goes.
That's awesome.
I'd like to believe.
Yeah, me too.
And Nick, you're coming into a perfect time for you to really get comfortable with Putnam County history, because this part you are going to remember. We have entered that period of time when our War of Independence, the American Revolution, is the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution has begun. And Jen and Sally are going to help us come to remember all the good things that we need to remember. Will you summarize for us some of the things that we need to know about your Rev 250 as it's come to know, Rev 250?
See, I call it America 250.
Let's call it America 250.
But it's the 250th anniversary of the American Revolution.
Mhm.
And that official anniversary will take place on July 4th, 2026. And here in Putnam County, we're fortunate enough to have our own Revolutionary Putnam County Committee that was formed. County executive helped to name a few good folks to it, a few great folks to it, actually. leading off with Governor George Pataki. He is a co-chair along with George Whipple, who many are familiar with, who's a great philanthropist in our community. And then County Executive Kevin Byrne is also on the committee. Legislator and Chairwoman Amy Sage is on the committee. Myself and Tara Keegan, who is our current Director of Tourism, and she's just a pleasure to work with. So that makes up the committee itself. And then branching off of that, you have our municipal office handling what we can do from the county side of things in terms of budget and events and programming. And then we have also, we kind of call it the Georges side of things, where they're doing a lot of great think tanking and about activities that can involve schools, libraries, and other historical groups, because we have every town either has a historical society or museum. That's important to know, to really get everyone engaged and involved. And so there's a lot of volunteers coming together for that side of things. Past projects, I'll try to summarize this pretty quickly. We started off, we had a great guest with us, Miss Anita Prentice, helping back in April with the reading of the Shot Heard Round the World. We did that out at the county courthouse steps. That was kind of to commemorate battles of Lexington and Concord, and Mr. Whipple and Miss Prentice, they read the poem out on the steps. And then we had a celebration of the anniversary of Sybil's Ride, which took place April 26th, 27th. There's 1770. Sounds right. That's always a great draw, as we were just talking about Sybil. And then this past July, we had a mammoth history pavilion at the county fair, which was great. We bought all the historical societies and museums under this big pavilion. Cartwright tents got us this massive tent. It was beautiful. We decorated it with bunting. We brought in reenactors from the 5th New York Regiment. East Fishkill Historical did hands-on history, making butter, and Southeast Museum had this great gentleman, James Colombo, was doing copper punching with families. So it was activities for all ages. It was fantastic. There was music. It was great. We'll do it again next year, because then we'll be right after the 250th anniversary. And so other current projects that we're working on, with fingers crossed, because a lot of time and money is involved to make big, great things happen.
Yeah, sure.
So we're currently looking at early June 2026 to have a large-scale reenactment. We're ironing out some details about that now, so stay tuned for more details on that. And then also, we may be developing a float to celebrate the Revolutionary Putnam County theme and feature the important people and places around the county. Because although we didn't have any large events of burning of Kingston or anything like that here, we were significant. Sure. Because we were kind of a thoroughfare coming through, and the importance of places like Constitution Island on the west side of the county, the Continental Village over there as well, the encampment in Fredericksburg. Sally, what other? There's so many great stories and people that.
And there's just
and Sybil
and just about almost directly across from our driveway is the very place that Benedict Arnold, when he got word that things weren't going quite so well, and that they were on to him, somehow needed to flee to the river, and was picked up by a British ship and eventually to the taken to harm. But yeah, no, I would say that, which has got the west side or the east side has more Revolutionary Wars sites, or are they equal? Is there activity across? Well, I guess with the river and the defense of the chain and the defense of West Point, that there's a fair bit of activity on the west side.
West Point was to defend the river. There was no West Point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, but so West Point was just a strategic outlet. Was a
places where they had guns and whatever, until they said we have to do something big there.
I see.
To defend the river.
Okay, not the other way around. It wasn't as if West Point was there and they need. It was just
defended for Fort Putnam, Fort Constitution, Fort Independence.
Well, it's pretty exciting. What should we be doing as a Putnam County Business Council? Mostly in touch with business people, possible sponsors.
Yeah.
What should we be doing to help you in this respect?
There's a few things that we could call on your community groups for. First off is to absolutely spread the word. And you can email rev250putnam@gmail.com to be added to the newsletter that goes out. And that will have a listing of all the upcoming events.
Let's do it again. Rev250.
Rev250Putnam.
That's all one word.
At gmail.com. And that'll
both Nick and I can remember that.
Too heavy lifting.
Yeah.
So it'll have a summary of events taking place, some great nuggets of history about Putnam County and the American Revolution in it. And that's done with our partners with the Georges. And they have a great administrator, Danielle Silage is her name. And she's doing tremendous work, and all their volunteers. They're really a pleasure. And to stay tuned, because these things are happening. These events are being, not thrown together, but they have to be very carefully orchestrated, because there are, when we talk about the county, there's insurance issues, there's facility, there's, we have a budget that can only go so far. So we'll see what the combination with our partners, with the volunteer group and things like that what we can call on you if there's going to be some partnership opportunities.
Would you call yourselves the coordinator of all this activity, or is there a committee? You've got the Putnam County Historian, you've got all these volunteer groups. You hope that a partnership will emerge, but nobody's in charge of one or the other.
It's definitely fine. We're definitely finding our way.
Yeah.
And
that makes it more fun.
As I said before, just because we didn't have these big events going on here doesn't mean that we're not important. We are relevant in terms of this 250th anniversary and 4th of July. That's going to be something we're talking about for 2026.
Yeah,
people are going to be heading out of Putnam, going down to Manhattan, or they're going to be all on the west side of Putnam to see the fireworks on West Point. So what are we as a whole county going to do on that day to commemorate? And so we're working on what's going to happen, maybe something at the county seat, which is what Carmel is, having something during the day, because we can, steal people away from their picnics and their evening fireworks. So that's another thing that's not being developed. So
what else about the historian's office that we know about a little bit about Rev 250? We know how it came to be, what you do, but is there something else that you would like to tell our group? Sally, you've got something you want to say. Good, please do.
So important for people to realize that the historian's job is not just to take care of the past, but to document the present.
Yeah.
So we want people to, when they take photographs of what downtown Brewster is like today, or when they some event that they want to record that's happening then. For instance, there's a woman in Brewster who recorded, she's on the village board. She recorded the first year of the pandemic, what she did, and she wrote down everything.
Yeah. Well, it somebody. Great.
People record.
We have to think about that now,
because that's tomorrow's history.
Yeah, and I don't think that way.
Digitally.
Yeah.
You know what? I think that's a really good point, because when you think about today, right, we're not thinking about what we're looking around us is going to change in 50 years or 100 years from now. We're just thinking that this is the way it's going to be, and we're not documenting that stuff. I think
pictures of Park Ford.
Yeah. Now,
when it was founded.
You're 100% correct. I don't. No.
Does anyone in your family do? Now's the time to have those conversations.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
And
make sure that you give us copies.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Scan it.
One thing that is nice in our role is we have the ability to recognize history in the making. So I'll give a quick example if you'll allow. In the past 5 years or so, there's been a greater attention being paid to Black history. Yeah. And so we have a lovely friend of the office. Her name is Linda, and she organizes a lot of Juneteenth, Martin Luther King events. things like and things during Black History Month, which, it should be all year long. But recording what she's doing and recognizing and reminding her, you are taking your seat at the table now with what you're doing, because no one did it before.
Yeah.
So
that is really good. Like you could, Parkford should have a historian. You probably should do 2 or 3 other things.
but yeah, that's another thing, is that businesses there's room for businesses and their history. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because the businesses that have come and gone, businesses that stayed through generations. What is the legacy aside from a photo and people remembering that shop being on that part of Main Street?
Sally, that's a lovely point. Thank you for making it. We're
selling cars change.
Yeah. Yeah, quite a bit. And it's going to change a lot more in the near future.
Yes, right.
So yeah, you're 100% right.
So, Nat, Jennifer, you must have been involved, or maybe both of you. Do you remember when the Putnam County Business Council did this show called Fireball, which is all about history? So I just found what that map was. We created like a great, like almost like a scavenger hunt where you went from one historical site to another historical site. So they had Ornithorpe Castle, Sybil Ludington's Ride, the Veterans Memorial Park, which you probably did not know, has a Vietnam War Air Cobra helicopter there.
I've seen that.
Great South Navy anchors, the monastery, the chambers, the stone chambers, stone crop gardens, chapel restoration, and then the West Point Foundry Preserve,
Yeah.
the Putnam History Museum. So were you involved with that? And then Bosco Bell.
how long ago was that, Jen?
This is 2016.
I joined on the office in 2015. I remember Frank Smith visiting
Yes.
the office and talking about
Yeah.
but it was worthwhile. It made a lot of great press.
I think it would be fun to create a map,
Well, I think that's some of that's happening, right?
There is a map. Yeah.
of the historic stuff in Putnam.
For
Nick needs it.
revolutionary stuff.
And George going to narrate something? George will.
Yes, from what I understand, tourism has put together a driving tour.
I love it.
And yes, George Whitman did the narration.
That's great.
Yeah, so I think that's still in production right now. And I think, maybe in another couple months, I'm not
Yeah.
quite sure that's out of our domain.
Been lovely having you too. Is there anything else that you would like to say? Now, Sally, you always got some. You got.
So,
Well, no, but it's that last comment.
but it's basically all next year.
Yeah.
Because we're not spreading this out the way the 200s was spread out until the anniversary of 1783.
Right. So it's this. We're not going to get the whole.
Yeah, and people were really tired of it by the end.
Yeah. Yeah. That'd be a slug. So 2026 is the year.
Celebrate different things that are not quite the 250th.
I see. That's a good.
Sybil's right.
Right. Don't be.
Dying,
Right. So, okay. So next year, we're really going to crank it.
Absolutely.
That's awesome.
If you think about it, like I say, we witness history. We will be judged 50 years from now, 100 years from now, by what we did to commemorate Revolutionary Putnam
We
County.
better get.
Yeah. Honestly, this has been fantastic. The knowledge that you brought me today is great, because especially now that I'm thinking about it, I pass by a sign almost every single day that says Sybil's Trail.
Yeah.
And now I know what it is.
Notice that all throughout the county, there's historic markers
Yeah.
with blue and yellow.
Benedict Arnold.
That's what we've
There's-
partnered with the Sheriff's Community Work Program and the DPW to make sure that they're all bright and shiny. We have about 5 more coming out, a few more new ones to be installed. So they're there for a reason, and I'm glad you're looking.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thank you both for coming.
Thanks for
We'd loved having you. That was a really good show. Thanks.